You see, the DJ just playing call somebody, you know. But you see, he didn't tell them to answer. As he played that, you have to say, when I call, you must answer. In the meantime, let me just introduce the members on the platform, because I'm waiting on Miss Murray to start us off with a word of prayer. That's the name that was given to me. But no, maybe she gone back for it. She wrote it down. Yes, but no problem. She'll be here shortly. So in the meantime, to my immediate left, and I hope I know the difference between left and right, because one time I see them marching. Every time they say left, them children raising their right foot. I don't know why. So we have one of our youthful people within the party, and of course the deputy political lead for St. Patrick's East, St. Patrick's West, Mr. Gilani, Gleen. So let's just make a little noise for him, a little round of applause. We have a royal woman at the middle, somebody I think all of you know that deserves no introduction, Dr. Clarice Modeste scoring. And of course, fairly new, but well known too. He's been around since the last election. No, man, call the man in the proper name now. What bellow? Mr. Victor Phillip, please. Miss Murray, are you ready? So, Miss Murray is back. She had a private prayer, and now she will come and pray publicly so that we can start. Thank you, Miss Murray. Please.
Afternoon, everyone. Could we please stand for prayer? Shall we bow our head? Our kind and dear and loving Father in heaven, Lord, this evening we gather in your name, Lord. Lord, as we go to conduct our meeting, Lord, may it be successful, Lord. May everything that we discuss will be a means to every one of us, Lord. Guide us, protect us, Lord. Lord, bless who is on the way, hasten their footstep, Lord. This is my humble prayer. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen, and thank you very much, Miss Murray, for your prayer. Well, as per usual in our party, we always say God first. And what comes after? Country second, party third, and then we coming somewhere after that. So I'll invite another stalwart of ours to come and lead us. We should all stand and pray reverence as Sister Julie leads us with first of all the national anthem and then the party song.
faithful I will be. I will fight with all my might, working for the NNP. Oh, you can count on me, working for my party. Faithful I will be. I will fight with all my might, working for the NNP. I will fight. I will fight with all my might, working for the NNP. I will fight, working for the NNP.
Well, thank you very much, our dear sister Julie, and thank you, NNP people in St. Patrick's West. As you know, the parties engage in a series of these constituency meetings, which will be held on Thursdays and Sunday evenings. Thursday and Sunday evenings. So next Thursday, we journey into St. David's, most likely St. David's Secondary School, to do another of these pocket meetings. And today being Sunday evening, we would like to move swiftly because we expect school to be happening tomorrow morning, God's will. But secondly, for those of us who are still fortunate to have some sort of employment, something that we can go to do, we want you to be on time. Because we know they shop these days, they say victimization, passing like knife in the abattoir. Yeah, left, right, they chip chopping. So you got to be careful. We don't want you to be late on account that you came to a meeting held by the NNP. So we're going to kick things off. And my first speaker who will come on platform this afternoon to speak to you, to welcome you, and secondly, to speak a bit about youth. Youth throughout the island, but youth in St. Patrick's West in particular. So let's put our hands together as we welcome Brother Gilani Gleen to speak to us for a few minutes.
Very special good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, NNP. I would like to first and foremost acknowledge the head table. We have with us Parliamentary Representative for the Parish of St. Mark, Dr. Honorable Clarice Modeste. Our St. Patrick's West Constituency lead, Mr. Phillip. And I know that we have other speakers on their way, and I welcome them in their absence. Ladies and gentlemen, present here this evening, and those joining us live across various social media platforms, good evening and welcome to the best constituency and parish in Grenada. I am truly honored to address you this evening and would like to thank our National Executive for placing their confidence in me. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, brothers, sisters, NNPites, please lend me your attention for the next few minutes as I engage you as a fellow parishioner on my assessment of life in our community over the past 2.5 years under the stewardship of an NDC government from a youth perspective. What were we promised? We were promised that agriculture and food security would be a priority, with several programs and initiatives listed for the Mount Rule estate. However, 2.5 years later, the only change at Mount Rule estate are the supervisors and the dry season and rainy season. There has been no increase in productivity, no new programs to diversify or mechanize productivity, and not even the bucket truck the Prime Minister mentioned to pick a few mangoes along the roadside. There are no programs for our young men and women who want to get into agriculture, no livestock or poultry rearing, no plant propagation programs to assist the young farmers in the St. Patrick's area. Instead, we have only received nice words and sweet talk, while the prices for fruits and vegetables and meat skyrocket at our local markets. Our young farmers deserve better, and our consumers must demand it. We were assured that healthcare services in the parish would be enhanced. However, 2.5 years later, we are still faced with the same challenges. Our health centers are under-resourced, and many of our residents have traveled a long distance to the general hospital to receive adequate medical care. And even whilst there, they are often faced with insufficient medication and an overwhelmed staff. Promises of new equipment, better facilities, and better services have not materialized, leaving us to wonder, should a late-night emergency occur in St. Patrick's West, what are the odds of survival for the patient or the unborn child and its mother? The NDC government pledged to invest in education and youth development programs. Yet we have seen little to no progress in that area. Our schools are still in need of repairs. Hopefully, MacDonald College can open its main hall by Christmas. There are still limited opportunities for our young people to engage in meaningful extracurricular activities. The promised scholarships and training programs have not been delivered, leaving our youth with without the support they need to succeed. And if you are thinking about the Empower program, well, they met that there, and of course, is a brainchild of the NNP. Ask yourselves, what have the representatives of St. Patrick's East and West done to empower our young people? Get them off the block and employed. What training programs have they organized to make our young people more employable? What initiatives have they taken to organize, motivate, support, and provide alternatives to young people looking for opportunities? Not only throughout Grenada, but right here in St. Patrick. Where are they when the parish youth needs their help? Nowhere to be found. Young persons, I urge you, stay prayed up. Put your trust in God. And next election, remember, which government gave you the Imani program, Empower program, Project Reach at the Majesties Prison, Project Fly, Project Hope, amongst others? And which administration seemed streamlined and downsized the Imani program, lied to you about permanent employment and salary increases, and chose to increase their own salary twice by several thousands of dollars each time before even lifting a finger to assist you in chasing your own dreams? The NDC government promised to boost economic growth, and create jobs for our young people. However, the reality that unemployment remains high amongst them, and acts of violence and sex crimes among our young males in particular have been on the steady increase. The promised investments in tourism, agriculture, and other key sectors have not been realized, leaving our economy stagnant. As a matter of fact, it is still the famously protested in the name of ecological preservation and conservation Livera Hotel, like the Six Sense Hotel, that were heavily condemned by the NDC government, that is now providing some employment for our youth right here in St. Patrick's. And trust me, there is more to come once the doors are ready to open. Thank God for the vision of the new National Party. So as youngsters, we should ask ourselves, what type of representation should we expect? For Folks, please stand and welcome our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell.
Somebody wave your hands and give him praise. Say, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. No, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. No matter what you say, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. No, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down.
To continue, as youngsters, what kind of representation should we expect? We should expect to see the Sotels and Montrich River Sally basketball and netball courts in the same condition, comparable to those refurbished by Minister Williams in the Limes, Granans, St. George Northeast, and St. David's areas. Are we not significant enough to have our own facilities upgraded for our young people in St. Patrick? National athletes in St. Patrick's West, like Letitia Keto, would surely disagree. Our representative simply does not care about these things. Clearly, penthouse in Dubai are preferred to basketball courts and grassroots development in St. Patrick's West. We should expect to see work at the 4 recreational grounds completed and returned to the community for the use by various clubs and schools in the area. The cost of using alternate venues in the parish is overbearing, costly, and highly inconvenient. We should expect to see the Nation Builders Wash program rolled out in St. Patrick as it has been in St. David and South St. George. Our children deserve their dignity and a safer, more environmentally friendly way of disposing their bathwater and excrements. We should be making outdoor toilets and bathroom facilities a thing of the past and not a ploy to line the pockets of party loyalists. Our youth in St. Patrick's can build toilet facilities too. Most importantly, we should see and expect to see our representatives amongst us regularly, helping us to deal with the challenges we face daily. One cannot claim to be a government of the people, for the people, and by the people when you are never amongst the people. If you don't know the people, how can you understand their plight? And how can you understand our young people when you are always absent? To represent us, you must first know us and be present amongst us. As I conclude, please permit me to say this to you, the youth of St. Patrick. I want to encourage you. You must not give up. You must continue to provide hope and show resilience and speak up for the voiceless in our communities. NNPites, do not take the shortcomings of this government for granted. We must do the required political work. Register our young people who are now capable, are now of voting age. Speak to them in our families. Get them to join our village groups, our women's arm and youth arm. Help them to understand why the new National Party has always been and will continue to be the best alternative for leadership and delivering government for the youth of Grenada. St. Patrick's West, we are no exception. We can't sit down. Our people, our nation cannot afford another ill-managed 5 years under this NDC government. Stay strong, my brothers and sisters. Be of one accord. Demand better for yourself and your country. It is clear that the promises made by the NDC government to our youth has not been fulfilled. They deserve better. They deserve a government that will deliver on its commitments and work tirelessly to improve the lives and of all residents in St. Patrick's. Let us continue to hold them accountable and strive for the progress and development that our youth, elderly, working class, vulnerable, and constituency deserves. I thank you for your attention. Let us continue to work together and build a brighter future.
The whole solid
Yes, Mr. DJ, thank you very much. That was Brother Gleen, Gilani Gleen for you. Now remember, among all the things he said, let us not take the faults and weaknesses of this administration and consider them to be the strength of the new National Party. We must continue to work tirelessly. We must continue to find our young people wherever they are, in whatever conditions they are in, and continue to give them hope. Register them and have them ready to vote. If we don't do it, the other side won't do it for us. They are handing us the ball, but we must take it and score the goals with it. Now, as we said, we ain't sticking because tomorrow is Monday morning. Not plenty of us that have to go to work, but the few, we want to make sure they reach on time. So there's a gentleman that has entered the platform. And I want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself to you. 2 minutes just to speak to you, to say probably who he is and why he loves the NNP so much. He's the political lead for St. Patrick's East. Just put your hands together and let's welcome Brother Butan John. Please come speak for 2 minutes to the people.
Good night to the head table. Good night to everyone in the audience. I don't think you people know how thrilled I am to see you tonight. Trust me, I am feeling very happy, and you should give yourself a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I need no introduction. But my name is Butan John. Tell you what, everybody calls me BJ, and I'm sure everybody inside here knows me. Because tell you what, I am not leaving your people. Trust me, I am not leaving your people. I have seen enough, and I've seen your pain. Lend them St. Patrick's East and St. Patrick's West, and we want it back. Have a good night. Take care.
Old people say, when you borrow, you're bound to pay. Yes? So, they borrow them just for a little while. They ain't invest in it right. So make them pay with a high penalty or interest. Beat them bad in the one to come. But we had to work for it. And we keep on. We on the move. And don't allow anyone or anything to stop us now. And that is what the next speaker said. He said they put some bad things in his way the last time. He tripped on some of them, he fell, but now he's up. And he's stronger than before. He's ready to fight like a lion. Yes? He's ready to lead his troops. And he's ready to take the fight to them. So I want you to join me, my friends. Put your hands together. Invite Brother Victor Phillip as he speaks to you this time.
Good night. I like this crowd. We have the vibes and we have to keep the vibes going. Welcome to St. Patrick's West. I'll say it again, my colleague said, but I'm welcoming you. We like to have strangers to come around, and we come around for one common purposes. At the same time, I would like to say good night to the head table, the political leader, deputy political leader, St. Patrick's West, Brother Butan John, thank you very much for joining us. Honorable. You see, the way she smiled at me, that she just making me, you know what I mean? Clarice Modeste. And my brother, Dwight, you know, the strong man, the good liar, and our chairperson, Brother Bowler. And everybody that sacrificed to be here tonight, thank you very much. We know that, as Mr. Bowler said, that most persons may have work in the morning, but sometimes we do have to make these sacrifices. First of all, I would like to thank the St. Patrick's team, management team. I would like to officially thank them for all the hard work they had been doing. As you know, after you lost an election, it's not an easy thing to get over. Anybody get over disappointment easily, they're not ready for success. Because you have to feel the pain of failing. And by failing, you should understand what you need to do. You need to relook at yourself, relook at your strategy, and to come back and make sure you do better and to win. My name is Victor, and if you know English, the meaning of that is winner of council. So this is what we're doing, and together with the NNP, this is what we're going to be doing. I would also like to send thank you to the party, because remember we just went through Hurricane Beryl, and the North was part of the island, or part of the tri-island state that got hit, and so therefore there were a lot of people in need. And I must tell you personally, we got a lot of help from the party to make sure they don't have nothing much, but to make sure that people get something and they can feel comfortable with. So as Brother Gilani said before, our task is easy. All we need to do, we know where we are, we know where we're supposed to be, so we just need to do the work. We would have differences, but you gotta be a man or be a woman and set differences aside. He also mentioned about the issues and the problems that we have in this country and we've seen every day. And I don't think anybody here like what is happening. So we have the only choice that we have to put things back into action is to make sure to do what we gotta do and to throw them out. I would like to just take this moment. I did a little bit of research because I find sometimes these guys say things and they don't, I don't know. And they condemn the former Prime Minister and the former party in power for a lot of things that they do, especially because it was targeted significantly to the poor and the vulnerable people. They don't like that word, but it's okay. Yeah, a lot of us are poor and vulnerable, and so therefore, the New National Party is the only party in Grenada that put an emphasis to make sure that they take care of the poor and vulnerable. So in my research, I will just give a few points because we can't stick too long. I looked at what could be done for small countries in developing in the rural areas. Because I'm not talking about St. George's. St. George's is Grenada, you could say. So we have to talk about fixing it, the rural area. And one of the first things that came up is improve agriculture practices. As everybody know, or those who are old enough to know, because I learned it from them, that St. Patrick's was one of the top producing countries when it talks about farming and nutmeg in the early times. And that's the people who had the gardens, this is what they used to do to send the children to school and to send them further on. Now, all of them is living in St. George's, you know, running the country. But we thank them for that. Another one is access to technology. Then they talk about infrastructure development, microfinancing, and business support. Well, I think the other person is going to talk about this one, right? Ecotourism, right? They talk about education and skill development, community health initiatives, cultural preservation and promotion, and so on and so on. I just mentioned these few because you know what? All those that I mentioned here, the new national party in the era managing this country was making sure that they take care of those things. It's not as what is happening now. Yes, they talk about education. And what is about education? Give free tuition. But what sense does it make to giving free tuition and the person can't leave from St. Patrick's to go to St. George's to school? Is this the meaning of transformation? Well, it is, because he's leaping so far. He's missing things along the way. You talk about making sure, and Dr. Kidd always talk about that, the people who spend money is the poor and the vulnerable. Those of us who have money, we don't spend, we're looking to save it. And this is why, at the moment, the country is as it is. Because the people who would do the work and to get the money to spend in does not have no work, so they have no money. But ladies and gentlemen, I know my former colleagues will be touching a lot of those things, but I just want us to remember and to remind us. Once full, don't let it happen twice. We have work to do. Let us reach out. We within the constituency will be doing ours, but we would like you all in the constituency to also to help us. So when we come around, tell us who turning 18. Let us know who is not well. Let us know who need help, and we'll do our best to make sure that happens, because this is what NNP stands for. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you again for coming, and you will get the rest of food for thought as the other speakers come on. Thank you much for coming, and let us continue to strive for betterment in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Victor Bello. That is how you like to call him. Bello. I wanted to tell you something about Bello, but I changed my mind. Because you see, I find NNP people sometimes they like too much thing. You know? So we will continue with the meeting because we want to run a good vibes here tonight. Yes, we want to run a good vibes, but we want to be serious. Because NDC think they could fool us. They think they could fool us. Riding plane like bus. They say somebody like to go to Dubai. Yes, because when he go in Dubai, what he does get and who he does meet, and me, Papa, I can't go in Koto, so I don't call him name. They forget about us. Don't talk about those in the countryside like St. Patrick's and St. Andrews and so. Burial pasture damage the place, money low they say, but every day they fly in helicopter. Woo, up they go. Woo, down they come, and they keep going on. So they decide, you know what? We want to drop our early election. We go give a little walk and we go tie them up again. But just in case some of them smart enough to realize what's happening, we go fix the voters list for them. A man tell me helping them do some work in a certain constituency on the voters list. You see a name, Cheng Wing. I say, well, you have people that are called so? He say, yes, Mr. Bowler, you have people that are called so. But they can't be Grenadian. I say, how you mean? He say, he see one name, he can't even call it. But that's the first name he ever see with Z, W, and X. So that name. I say, well, that wasn't going in Czechoslovakia. But anyway, The long and short of it, I won't give all you all the details because there's another person on the platform that is qualified in that area. And he's going to explain to you why it is important for us to canvass our voters list. Yeah? When you see people have job title like movie director, I never know there is a film movie in Grenada. Because on the voters list, you have your name, you have your occupation and things like that. You have film directors. Well, anyway. Yes, we are Deputy Governor General, but that's all right, we know that. So put your hands together and let's invite a legal luminary, a man of the law, a member of the new National Party, Brother Dwight Hosford, to speak to us about electoral matters.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, Brother Chairman. And I wish to say a special good evening to you, sisters and brothers, sons and daughters of Grenada, and my NNP family. Before I say anything further, I think it is fitting to recognize our distinguished head table, our political leader, Dr. Mitchell, one of our greatest stalwarts in the party, our standard bearer, Sister Clarice Modeste Cohen. Brother Bello, and it's good to see my old school friend, Gilani Gleen here. Brother Butan John. And always special thanks to our MC for the evening, our General Secretary, Brother Roland Bula. Sisters and brothers, we are here this evening, as we have been, in these zonal meetings. And the new National Party has decided to hold these meetings. 2 liquor meetings that we hold, then people start to get frightened. And 2 meetings we hold and the transformers transform, cussing one another and biting and saying they must fire this one and fire that one because they're afraid NNP return to office. Well, that is the very mission. Because our mission, sisters and brothers, is to rescue this country from the situation that is in now. So we're not afraid. We're not afraid of the bickering on the airwaves, and you're going to see a lot more of that, They talk about transformation, you will see the transformers shift and change and shift until they disappear. Because we want them to disappear. Friends, we are also here this evening to talk about serious and very important issues in the country. Now, before our arrival, I'm sure you've heard a lot from our colleagues on the platform, various aspects of what is going on in the country, the pain and suffering of our people, our sisters and brothers. But in all of this, I want you never for a moment to forget our sisters and brothers in Carriacou and Petit Martin. Because each of us as good Grenadians and patriots must not only remember them, but we must do our best, all that we can to help them. Because you see, you have a government that don't even want to do it. They don't know how to do it. All you're seeing is PR and stuntmen with mamagism and helicopter ride and clean-up show, and the people still suffering. Questions, serious questions are being asked in the parliament, and all kind of device and trick and stunts so that you don't get the answers. All kind of stunts to shut up the opposition. But that is not going to happen with the New National Party. Not going to happen. That is why we are coming to you and we are meeting with you, so that you will know what is going on in the country. They can't silence us. Never happen. So remember our sisters and brothers. They need our help, and continue to help them, as some of you I know have been doing. Now, Brother Bola mentioned some strange things that happening. Some names that coming out on the voters list. Some Chingwang. And all kind of strange spelling names. And all kind of strange people with occupation. What is it? Movie director. No, you laugh. I know it's funny, yeah? But it's a serious business. It highlights the importance of canvassing the voters list. Because now, sisters and brothers, more than ever, where you have an administration that is running scared, they know that they are losing support daily and rapidly inside of Grenada. And so they are turning to devices of bringing in diaspora people. And say, just when you come to Grenada for Canada, just register. When you land, just register. Knowing full well that is against the law. It is against the law. But desperate people will do desperate things. But the righteous will always do the right thing. And the New National Party will do the right thing. So, sisters and brothers, for the Chingwang and all these kind of strange names that you're picking up, we have a plan of action. We're going to do something about it. But it's important that you continue to scrutinize the voters list. Go through it with a fine-tuned comb. When you hear the addendum come out, sit down together and comb it through. Comb it through. Because, sisters and brothers, the importance of this is very real and very obvious. It is you, the people, that live in Grenada, that live in the constituencies, that must determine the kind of government that you have. Nobody should be determining that from you. Nobody should do that for you. You. That is your right, and that is your responsibility. And so, in the coming days and weeks, as we have these meetings, we'll be emphasizing the importance of that. Of course, as we are beaming live, we're not going to elaborate the plan of action. I know they'd love to know that. But let them continue to cannibalize one another now and bite up one another because we're having meetings. We're going to continue to have more meetings. And we're going to continue to have bigger crowd. And we're going to be in their face. Don't worry about that. We're going to continue. But at the same time, we must continue to do our work. So while you're canvassing and you're looking to fish out those that they want to add in to the list, these strange names and these foreigners, at the same time, you have a responsibility to talk to your children and grandchildren of voting age about what is going on in the country. You must reason with them. Because in as much as we are canvassing, we must also do what? Be registering our people, sisters and brothers. Many of you in the NNP homes, you have children and grandchildren that have turned 18 and 19. And you're not engaging them. Sisters and brothers, this mission, this rescue mission, is not a one-way thing, you know. is all hands on deck, and we must talk to our children. We have to register people too. You have to register your children and grandchildren, register your friends, register your neighbors. We must engage every single one of us because we are going to do this rescue mission together, sisters and brothers. Now, before I leave you, I want to say something to you. We are living in an era, a lot of social media. And almost everybody can access a social media platform by a telephone. And almost overnight, anybody could be a commentator. I want to ask you, sisters and brothers, to stay focused. Stay focused on the information that you are getting from us in these meetings. Stay focused on the information that you are getting from our programs and platforms. Because you know they're going to try jungle tactics and try to confuse you and confuse our message. But our message is clear, that there is only one political party that knows how to run this country and run it well, and that is the New National Party. And so, sisters and brothers, hold fast and stand firm because we are coming to the rescue as we have always been, and we will do this together. So let us stay firm, focus, canvass your list, register your children, register your grandchildren, and we are going to continue to the rescue, onward and upward. Long live. Thank you very much.
That was Brother Dwight Hosford. Let's hear some more claps for him, man. The man big and strong. All you get the man, two little thing. Say, be careful with what you hear and what information you get. Well, he didn't know. I was reading a passage of scripture when he goes saying this thing, yes? And boy, they say the master walks in ways, mysterious ways, that's what it says? But all you just listen. And it so happened that in Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 to 14, it says, each of us must decide for ourselves and be careful not to take wrong advice from the ungodly. That is what the Bible says, not me. So my friends, we have to be careful. Listen carefully. The reason why we are being asked to canvass the list is not just to see the funny names and laugh and say, hey, you ain't see that name on the list? We need to be able to put a face to every name that is on the voters list for your polling division. Our parents used to tell us, leave people's business alone. I don't want you to interfere in people's business. But if you want to be in politics, if you want to be a real good NNP, and you want to hoot for NNP and make NNP victorious again, you have to fast to know who register in your PD, where they're living, where they're sleeping. You have to know if the men in your community does sleep in more than one house in the night. Not to go and tell other people, but to know when election morning, if you go and knock that door on the end day, you must know the next door you have to knock to get him to go and vote. But that is what it is, you know. That is politics. Don't use the information you have to create problem. We want a peaceful society. So don't go and tell the other person the other place you know they don't sleep. Keep that to yourself. just to catch up with them on election morning. So let's do the work and do it seriously, my friends. I just want to recognize in our midst 2 of our executive members that I see here with us tonight. Maybe there are others standing on the outskirts because there are as much people on the outside as there are inside. The place is a bit warm. So I want just stand and take a bow, Brother Winston Garaway. We are happy to have you with us. And also, we have Brother Nimrod Oliver. Please, take a bow. So that was the 2 male, but we have a female too, you know. We have a female. And you could sing for her, you know. She never get weary yet. Sister Cheryl, she never get weary yet. She never get wet. She's always on board. Always on board. And you know what? If in every constituency we have 5 soldiers like Sister Cheryl who is ready to work, she answers the call even before you call her. That is how interested she is. Yes? So sometimes we just say, oh, how she front is, so bear with her. She's a good NNP. Tonight, I'm not on the platform to talk, but to introduce. And we know the worries, you know. We know the problem. We know the social issues that confront us. Some of them are deep, and they hurt bad. The people who got damaged during the passage of burial, our farmers, they're still waiting assistance. We were promised a lot of things. You know, Brother Butan John is one of the top, farmer. He's an agriculturist. He produces food for the nation. I do a little bit too, but I'm not in a class. I'm in a low class compared to him. And there are so many others. St. Patrick's, St. Andrews, the bread basket of Grenada. And the farmers are still waiting. The house owners are still waiting. But you know one that touches us and one that concerns us is that the government say they have a big passion for education. They want to do so much for education. So they're going to remove tuition fees for TAM, CC, and what have you. But they went further and they said, during the era of the NNP, we had asked the students of the primary schools to contribute $1 a day. $1 a day for the school feeding program. So that's $5 a week, and you get a meal every day. Plus, the government had it budget through the Ministry of Education. They said the NNP didn't care about people, they didn't love them. So we don't want your dollar, we go provide everything. From the time school opened this term, not a pound of flour, not even half-box chicken, no oil, no macaroni, nothing. Some of the poor teachers, who sometimes just misbehave a little bit, but their good-heartedness is what is keeping the school feeding program running. One of the cooks told me, for the term so far, only once they received, not even this term, this new term, since last term, a check. They went to the shop that normally provide them with the groceries. And by the time they give the man the check, he couldn't pay out the whole bill. But they take something, the bill went higher than it was before. Not a cent again. But anyway, it's not my duty to talk these things. Put your hand together and let's recognize the royal lady among us, a fighter, a champion, to speak to you about social issues. Dr. Clarice Modeste Cowie.
So, NNPites? What? Are you listening? could hear a pin drop. You all here for business. And good night, my sisters and my brothers. Allow me to greet the head table, our political leader, and Prime Minister for many, many years, Dr. the Right Honorable Kate Mitchell. The man that knows how to lead us out of trouble. How to rescue Grenada. And we're here. I want to greet our chairman, General Secretary, Brother Roland Bowler. He's always honorable. Brother Roland Bowler. Brother Dwight Hosford, right next to him. Brother Gilani Gleen of St. Patrick West. Brother Victor Phillip of St. Patrick West. And also Brother BJ of St. Patrick. I always just forget what the B and the J stand for, but and everybody calls him BJ. Butan John from St. Patrick East. It's good to have a head table looking good and a head table with good people on it as well. Not just looking good. We're not here for looks, brothers and sisters. We're here about the business of the nation. To tell you what you may not know, but most of it is just to remind you what you don't know. And I hope that some NDC, hardcores they may be, are listening tonight. I also hope that some who made a mistake with their hand and put the X in the wrong place, they're listening tonight as well. Because we have a message. We are the voice of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, brothers and sisters. And we are ready to rescue Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. So I hope they are listening. And I want to remind them and tell them on Facebook, just deal with the truth. Forget Dr. Modeste, hear how it is. Because what they below the hair and the mouth and the ears, that is more important, brothers and sisters. Let us talk about issues. Let us talk about the matters. The issues that matter to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. I am here to do my share, brothers and sisters. And let's get that rescue train rolling already. We want it to roll faster because I don't know how long. I hear Brother Bola talking about 5. I don't know how long we could take that, brothers and sisters. The rescue mission is here. So, brothers and sisters, social services, welfare, as we call. And I saw Brother Bola scrolling the Bible, but it's going to take me a little while. But the Bible says that the poor will always be with you. So when we talk about the poor, they vex. But the good thing about NNP is, although we defend the poor, NNP has allowed the rich and the people who have wealth in Grenada to flourish as well. We do not only talk about the poor, we talk about the rich as well. Because even them, they're balling nowhere, and they're looking for rescue, brothers and sisters. But my work tonight is to talk about the social services. So just bear with me. Brothers and sisters, the seed. Since these people came in, they scratch out some people's name from the seed, they stopped give us without notice. People who are depending on that to pay their little light bill, to send their grandchildren to school, to send their children to school, brothers and sisters, they viciously and unconscionably took away that facility that we put in place for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique so that they could survive. Brothers and sisters, so don't let them tell you things expensive everywhere and things hard. It's more expensive when they take your job from you today for tomorrow to tell you don't come back. Because people could make do, brothers and sisters. When you take away some of the money, you stop the program that used to help. When you take away the Empower and all of the other programs that were there for young people, and they wonder, and they're talking about gun amnesty, how many guns they get? How many guns? The important thing, I'm not saying that we don't have to deal with the guns, but we have to preempt. We have to be forward thinking And we have to get the youths engaged and not take away these programs from them, because when they were in the programs, they had something to do. But you take away all from him. And I know other speakers spoke about it, so I wouldn't go too long into that. But what I'm saying is, some of the people under the seed program, they got the money after COVID. After a disaster, they got the monies after COVID to help them out. They take it out. All I'm saying to NDC now, the money all you took out, now all you get $118 million. Use it to give back some of that money to the people so that they can live, brothers and sisters, and they would not be begging bread. Bring relief to people. Brothers and sisters, the other day, a little money passed Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in St. Mark and St. John. People got a little money, and people start to say, the government put something on the money. Brothers and sisters, that is UNICEF money. And if UNICEF people could stay from where they is and see we see in trouble and bring our money here, how come you have $118 million and you can't put our money in the hands of poor people right there that you're seeing? Learn a lesson, NDC. Learn a lesson from UNICEF. And I heard that they brought some relief to St. Patrick. I don't know the exact extent, but I understand St. Patrick people got some monies as well. I do not know if they've given an extra in Karakou. I'm still listening to hear, brothers and sisters. But we have many people in Karakou, most of Karakou and Petit Martinique, who could do with a little bit of that UNICEF money. But also, brothers and sisters, it's time for the country to start recovering. And Brother Gawe will tell you that. Anytime after a disaster, you get relief. People feel sorry for you. But after a time, they have to take care of their own business too. And therefore, you have to move speedily from relief to recovery. For 3 months, we're there in relief, and not everybody are getting the relief, you know, because they're telling them frankly, especially in Karakou and Petit Martinique. Well, Petit Martinique was better. But in Karakou, you is NNP, nothing for you, brothers and sisters. They take everything for themselves, and I want to remind them, we all are taxpayers. We are entitled. We have a right to whatever is going out through the taxpayers' dollars in this country, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, the government needs to step in and make contributions now of the money, because they pass it in Parliament. Only big money you hear in passing in Parliament. But some of the money spending, it's just that it's not going into the hands of the bona fide victims of Hurricane Beryl. The money spending. Find out where your Prime Minister is at this time. I don't know if he come back already, but he was out again, the traveling Prime Minister. And he bringing nothing for us. I don't know if he back. Brothers and sisters, the government have some entities to take example from. Sisters, UNICEF gave what they could give. The Samaritan Purse did what they could do in Karakou. They bring a nice little blue kind of material to put on a roof. And NDC like it so much, they say, leave it there without fixing no house. Because it had to be that. It's time for us to get out of some of that people under this blue roof and start fixing houses. And the point is, they're taking people from mainland and bring them up to gather galvanized. But I want to say to them, you could gather galvanized and still fix roof. One doesn't depend on the other. And I also want to say to them, we have weathered Hurricane Ivan. We have weathered Hurricane Emily. Success are talking about, Not we just weathered it successfully. We have beaten back COVID in this small island state to where we were recognized worldwide. Brothers and sisters, what I'm saying is, the examples are right here and there. Put the reins back in our hands. Give it up if you can't rule the country. And let us show you the example. Pass the reins on. It is time. The people are suffering. So brothers and sisters, they take away the seed. As you know, they took away too the voucher. Because we only hearing people get voucher, they get form, they pull it out, and they send it back in. But when I ask somebody, you know, kind of frontline NNP heads, they don't get at all, and they need it. One set of people get it. No, and I know some people still waiting on it. But our women, our families, we are resilient. And I'm sure every one of your children are back to school, brothers and sisters. You pull yourself up by your shoelaces. You pull yourself up by the boots. They want to keep us down. They won't keep us down. They want to keep us silent. They could never keep us silent, brothers and sisters. Not as long as we have this parliament, brothers and sisters. We will do what we have to do. So, brothers and sisters, a lot of money passed for those from St. Patrick. A lot of money passed for St. Patrick. How many 100 houses? How many things for farmers? Farmers don't get in nothing. Fishermen don't get in nothing. I saw big money and I asked them for, not a big money, a little money for fishermen. And I said to them, I asked them in Parliament, that money could help fishermen who lost their boats and all of that to recover. They tell me no, it's to put a little change in fishermen's hand and to get the boats to the docks. So then talking at the dry dock. So then talking about the money to fix the boat. Just get the boat there. And that is all. So that fishermen could beg you. That is what they want. Fishermen could beg them for the money. But the money doesn't belong to them. That $118 million belongs to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Farmers balling, while vine growing all over. They still cannot get chainsaws, brothers and sisters. They still cannot get the little pitons that were promised them so they could start their work. So when they give them, when the little rainy season over and they can't plant nothing, what they plant in January, February, March, right down to June in the dry season, they can't plant nothing. Because while some of our farmers do have irrigation, the mountain farmers with the cocoa and the nutmeg cannot afford the irrigation. Sometimes there's not a source of water near to them. They plant a lot in the rainy season, and that is not happening. Our farmers balling, brothers and sisters. But money spending, way spending, is not for the people who are suffering in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We said this was a time to use that money and give more fortnights to the people. Yet you cut down the fortnight, and every fortnight is the same set of people going. So the money does spreading. Once one household have people in all different jobs. Every morning they're on the street. And when I say one household, it's just an example, you know, but you have different households where everybody in the household walking. And you have some household where one person walking, and you call that person on the 30th of the month. Or if the month has 31 days, the 31 of the month. The 31 of the month. And you tell them, don't come back the next day, the first of the next month. And some little people, you know, not anybody that should have authority, but now you have some people, them is the authority, and they're telling people when they could walk and when they cannot walk. We're still looking for the assistance with the vouchers. I never realized how expensive a school pants is. $120. Them little children, little so, the pants is $120. How people living, I don't know. And they have the money, brothers and sisters. This is what is hurting. You have the money to share, and you spending it, because we're going to hear when budget come how much was spent. But as show St. Patrick's people don't start to see nothing yet. And what they promised St. Mark people ain't see nothing yet. The people tell me some material coming from the house repair program that was inside already, and the material is going to very carefully chosen people by the other side. And the rest of people still waiting inside the house, brothers and sisters. Whether in St. Mark, whether in St. Patrick, whether it's in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, something has to be done, brothers and sisters. The examples are there. Outsiders have set examples. Right here in Grenada, we have set examples. get the experts and do something. They paralyzed. They paralyzed. And that is why you always have to have a mix, brothers and sisters. You cannot just take new people. You never know about them. They never succeed in anything except maybe the profession, which is not politics, you know. Some professions could enhance politics, but it's not politics. And some people never work in their life. So now they get a job as a minister. Not me that says people that tell me they never work. I don't know. But the point is, if you never succeed anywhere, how you come and succeed? So we made a mistake. Those who made a mistake, you have to fix it. And those who supported the NDC, use the example of the United States. Some of the Republicans, because they cannot take what is happening within the Republican Party, they said this time they're voting for the Democrats. Brothers and sisters, vote for the present. Vote for the future. Vote for your welfare, the money they took from you. Vote for the school feeding program that they're not giving the children, brothers and sisters. Vote for your fortnight because you have a right. Vote so that we can get rid of these imposters who call themselves politicians, and vote for the true bona fide people who are going to rescue Grenada. We are ready, and that is our message. And those of you who are lagging behind, get ready and listen well to what Brother Hosford said. That voters list. You jump in the bus and we're happy to see you. And it have some people from St. Mark, they're always there. St. Mark, I'm happy to see you rallying, and those outside, you are there. Dr. Dubois from St. Mark, put up your hand. The point is, we are realizing what is happening, what has happened. And you're listening to the authentic messages. Brother Sheldon, I want to big him up for his programs. The Prince, the principal, Brother James, I want to big him up. There's a lady doing an excellent job, Sister Jenny. I don't know what color she is or what, and I don't care. The truth shall make us free. When they bring the messages, the mosquito man, I didn't hear him for a while, but I hear he's back on track. And all those who use their voices to speak for you, support their programs. You have little thing that say where you could support and how to support, right? Because we do not have chainsaw to sell. We do not have a lot of things we could advertise that we're selling. So support these programs, brothers and sisters. We love you, and we're ready anytime they're ready, brothers and sisters, to rescue.
Cry, no. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special.
The royal lady. Let's give her another round of applause. So much social ills that you have to talk about. I mean, she could have taken the rest of the night, you know. Imagine she hadn't even touched health yet. Health coming Thursday night because we're going to St. David's. The rate at which babies are dying in the hospital. A friend of mine tell me, he said, boy, you think them people don't have a special contract with LACWA? I said, well, I wouldn't know. I don't work in the hospital. See the rate they are dying. But, serious, who are pen and who are paper? Only you? Well, only you that come in meeting to write. How are we remembering what was said here? Is stick in your head? Oh, God. I hope you don't hear like a video or see on television. A fella cleaning the street and he blowing the leaves, and when them people passing, he just lifting the blower. And hair flying all over the place, you know. I hope he's not a kind. Anyway, If you want to know what's happening, if you want authentic news, if you want to be in tune with what's happening on a daily basis, as Brother Dwight said earlier on, all of you have fancy cell phones. Some are 2 cheap, some are 3, I don't know. Some are 5 camera. So you don't need pen and you don't need paper. Just take this down. www. Get out your phones. Get out your phones. Get out your phones. Yes. www. No, not 100 at all. Subscribe to NNP. subscribetonNP.org. Just subscribe, you're getting all the news, the latest, the best, the freshest of the press. Let me call it again if you didn't get it clear. www. 3W. Dot. With that train moving, you know. That's why we say check the voters list. We can't wait for long. That train moving. You ready now? You ready? www. Dot. Yes? And everything else I'm spelling to you is like one word. SUBSCRIBETONNP. Dot. And then org.org. Yes? Subscribe to that and you'll get it. So keep on coming, keep on listening, because we're going live on several programs. We're on the, what they call it? The World Wide Web. We're right there. And we keep things going. So, friends, we're moving. I say only 5 people inside here to go to work in the morning. Everybody else unemployed. But we don't want 5 more to lose their work. So we want to finish quickly. We're moving on. Now, as a party, we always are interested in growth. Do the history, do the research. There has been no other party in this country to have transformed it as quickly and in the way the new National Party has done it. We invest in infrastructure. We invest in people. We grew the economy. We created jobs. NNP has always been to the rescue every single time there's been a disaster in this country. And keeping with that, as a party we decided growth must continue. New people must evolve. We must see fresh faces and things have to change. So we got a nice, decent young lady who said, put up her hand, she said, I'm willing. Sister Amanda Japal. And so she got the freedom and the opportunity to chair a few meetings. Every minute my phone ringing, Bola, we hear doc make you go by. I said, which doc? Dr. Mitchell. I said, well, I never know Dr. Mitchell does make anybody go. Well, how you chair in meeting again? He put you on the back burner. I said, well, I'm getting old. I have to take my time to boil. You know, on a slow burner, the back burner. But I want to declare tonight, I wasn't sent home. I wasn't fired. I ain't put on no burner. As a matter of fact, I ain't even on the stove. So you go still see newer people coming forward. But the old veteran is there. And so I want you to put your hand together and welcome a veteran in his own right. A man for all season. A man that is here with you. Dr. Keith Mitchell.
Somebody wave your hands and give me praise. Say, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down.
Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down. Well, yes. Chairman, thank you for your introduction, of course. And let me recognize my colleagues, Brother Dwight, Sister Clarice, Brother Gilani, and of course Bello and Brother BJ. And all my sisters and brothers, Dr. Dubois, Gawe, Nimrod, Cheryl, all of you sisters and brothers, the soldiers of the New National Party, I want to thank you for your presence here this evening. We are on a march. We are on a march to rescue our country. And we're doing this because not about ourselves. We are concerned about the future of our children and grandchildren's future. Because this is what it's all about. The state where things are today. If we allow this thing to go on too long, it's going to be very difficult for the future of our children and grandchildren. So we must be very serious about this. Friends, I've been around in this politics for a while, as you know, but I've never seen a government with such callousness, with such level of spite, hate, vindictiveness, corruption that you can never imagine, and selfishness. That is almost the language, the adjective you can use to describe what we have in government today. In fact, I wonder where this is a government. I don't know it's a government. All I know is they're using taxpayers' money, but it don't represent the people. Because a government, when elected, friends, is supposed to take care of all the people of the country. That is what a government is supposed to do. A government not supposed to say, you are NNP, you are NDC, you mustn't get bread, this one mustn't get food. No, a government can't do this. The government's philosophy must how you help to lift people in the country. Lift people up. In other words, sisters and brothers, government makes policies. And I'm talking about the New National Party when it's in government. And that's what government's supposed to do. Initiate programs and policies that every citizen and groups of persons in the country can feel that they have a chance to move upwards. That's the government fundamental philosophy. So if I'm a teacher, I must feel the government policy is such that I have opportunity to improve myself and my family and my country. If I'm a businessman, I must feel so. If I'm a sportsman, I must feel the policies of the government to lift sporting activities in the country. And I'm looking at all levels. But with all that I'm saying, every government, no matter what country you go to, have one number one priority. They must put policies and programs in place to take care of the vulnerable and the poor in the society for which you live. In other words, everybody must feel they have a chance to move forward. But government must have one little focus. You see, the poor man and the poor lady that don't help themselves, government must put systems in place to help those people. In fact, if we call ourselves a Christian society, that is fundamental. As Christians, we are told by our Savior to help our brothers and sisters. And the more they need is the more we have to pay attention to them. But I don't know what we have in government today. And that's the point I am making, sisters and brothers. Because I have heard people speaking on behalf of the government and tell them, don't give this one work, don't give this one food, don't give this statements made by people who are close to high officials of this government. And nobody's coming out and condemning it and say, you can't say this. If anyone in a government run by the New National Party had done that before, they would be called in and spoken to stop calling the name of the NNP in your nonsense. Because it is fundamentally not right, morally bankrupt, to victimize people because you perceive them not to be a supporter. People have a right to support the party of their choice at election time. That is a fundamental right. In fact, it is stupid politics to victimize a man who did not vote for you before. Because if you want him to change, you have to give him a chance. And you have to show him that despite the fact that he didn't vote for you, he still have a chance to improve himself under the government that you lead. That's supposed to be the fundamental philosophy of any government. But you see the complete opposite of what is taking place. The level of hurt and pain. People are being fired from their jobs. If a businessman is doing something with government because he's perceived not to be supporting them, they tell him not to go there and buy anything. That's what's happening. No matter what business you are involved in, you are being instructed not to go there. Remove the services that you're buying from that organization. And that is coming from people who is using the taxpayers' money, your money, you know. And they behave as if it is NDC money. When we were in government, I always said to our friends and supporters, the money treasury is not NNP money. It is all away money. And therefore, we have to use it in a way that everyone feels they have a role to play. And they have an opportunity in the society that we live in to help themselves, their family, and by implication, the country as a whole. So making the point, sisters and brothers, the fundamental philosophy of the NNP is quite opposite to what we're seeing in government today. And I know some people certainly wondering, what the hell did they change the NNP to? Some people are shocked that what they see in government is definitely what they want, what they felt they voted for. Some people want to change. And why not? If you want change, and you have a right to want change. That's your right. But I'm sure that is not the change they wanted. Because these guys have deceived them. But we know, sisters and brothers, if we continue under this march, these meetings that we're holding, if we continue to do this, I am telling you, they are already quaking in their boots. And if we continue with this march forward, change will come to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. They are brutalizing the public service. A lot of public servants who voted for this government, they are in shock. They call in the names of ministers of the NNP government today and saying this minister would have never done this and this minister would have never done this. Because what they've seen today, they have never seen it before. Friends, we know that the public servants are supposed to serve the people of the country. So we know the people of the country come from different political organizations. But what you're doing, you are transferring people without any excuse, no kind of policy in place. Sending people in different positions, promoting some without any idea, a qualification of what they are supposed to do. Nothing, no criteria for those decisions at all. But that is a medicine for chaos and for destruction in your country. So we have a public service that is demoralized. I'm sure you know this. You can feel the sense when you're asked to go to public servants' offices and you see that you hardly could get services today. Why you think people are hardly getting paid on time today? Why you think so? Because a lot of the competent public servants have been pushed aside. And people are promoted because of the perception that they support a political organization. That is a medicine for chaos. And that is what we're seeing. The police force, sisters and brothers, the police force is a demoralized institution today. I know a number of police officers who are hard-working police officers who want to serve their country, irrespective of which political party is in office. But when they see the nonsense taking place, a lot of them are retiring and some are just waiting for the time to get out. This is what is happening. And when your police force, who is supposed to protect the country, protect each of us, when they are demoralized, your security are being jeopardized. Understand this, friends. When your police force, your police officers feel a sense that those in authority do not care and they are making decisions based on politics. They have situations that have been reported to me where decisions are taken to send a police officer to a certain place to work, and a politician say, I don't want him here. And the man can't go, or the woman can't go. Politician, during our period in government, no minister of a new national party government could go and instruct the commissioner of police to take a decision based on politics. Because if that is reported to me, that politician would be spoken to seriously to stop it. But that is what is happening in our country. And that's what worries me in our community. We're dividing our country. We have a country being divided today, putting people against each other when you should be bringing people together to build a country. You're doing everything to divide them. And you as the leaders are supposed to be uniting people. Instead of that, you're doing everything to cause people to go apart. My friends, you wonder why you see a project started today and it can't finish? You know that? We have a project in Molyneux today. It started about 6 months before the NNP was in office. When they won the election in 2022, a certain minister who probably hardly have a certificate, O-level certificate, says the project going to finish in December of 2022. December 22 came, December 23 came, December 24 coming soon, and maybe it's the next one they're talking about. But you know what is happening? While this is happening, millions and millions of dollars that should go to you, the people, to help you to improve your lives, are being wasted on one project. And that is the story of several projects around the country. Many projects that were started under the new National Party's government, not one of them today is completed. Every one is delayed over and over by years, costing you millions of dollars, my friends. Because the people that we have in government, a bunch of incompetent people. People that don't have a clue about running and managing anything. And all they know is to spew hate and spite. My friends, but that cannot continue for long. If we are united together and march together, change will come. Sisters and brothers, my friends, the state of our country. You remember when they came into government, they said they met over $500 million. And some people meet me, Doc, why you leave all that money for? I say, wait, no, you think I expected for you to vote me out? Why you leave all that money in the treasury for? So I said, no. We managed in the country. We are saved, and we had a lot of people working. You remember when we had road work, it was 6,000 people on the road for weeks and fortnights and fortnights. The poor people had money, so when you pass around all Sotes, Guave, Victoria, you see people buzzing in the shops through the length and breadth of the country because the poor people have money in their pockets. I always tell people, and somebody alluded to that tonight, these guys don't understand what basic economics is all about. And I'm not talking book economics, I'm talking about practical economics now. The people who spend money throughout the country at all levels is not people like me. The poor people, when they get $1, the shopkeeper get a piece, the bossman get a piece, the vendors in the market get a piece, right? The tailor get a piece, the hairdresser get a piece, everybody get a piece. They don't understand this. So when you walk around the country and you see the state of the country and you see the whole place look like, if it's every day look like a holiday with everything closed down. That is what is happening in our country. I used to think that Guave never sleeps, but NDT put Guave to sleep. It put the lands to sleep. That is what is happening. So they made $500 million. Just listen to this. And you have to ask some serious questions. And we are going to ask some in Parliament. They got $500 million. They said it, that they got $500 million plus. And of course, they're continuing to get money from customs and other things in the country, which we use to run the country. They sold passports like hot bread and butter. The same passports that they were cursing and saying, are we giving away the birthright of the country? They made millions and millions of dollars out of that. So they had a few hundred million. They put out the data and said a few $100 million they made from that. So 500 plus that. And we went into CREEF program, which they clearly don't want to admit and foolishly want to say that it's not us. And with time, 14 days after burial, they got $118 million. So check the numbers, 500 plus hundreds of millions of dollars, plus another 118, and regular millions and millions from customs and excise and inland revenue and all the things. All that money they get in, sisters and brothers, where are these monies going, my friends? Isn't that a question you must ask? Isn't that a question you must ask? Where are these monies going? My friends, they are enjoying themselves at the expense of the taxpayers of the country. So we have to ask some serious questions, my friend. But compare that. Your economy, the country's economy is based on what people do in the country. Whether it's the farmers, the teachers, whether it's a road worker, it's the productive capacity of the country. People doing things. And the country moving forward. And government is supposed to be like a catalyst, pushing things forward, helping people to keep doing more and more. My friends, but they walk into government and the first thing they do, I believe this government seems to have a real special thing for poor people. Every single action they take is how to hurt the poorest of the poor. The first thing the men did in the first budget was what? To put VAT on sugar. Put VAT on sugar. And here the rationale for it. Sugar will encourage diabetes. Well, anything you do too much in, you're going to cause you problems. If you eat too much food, no matter what type, you're going to have a problem. So sugar is a necessity for everybody, but you use the right quantity that you need. But you're going to tax it. I could pay for it, and many of people in the country pay for it, but the poor man who has no job, who has nothing, and has to take care of his children, he has to buy it at the same tax price. So who are you hurting the most? The poor. and they put tax on water. Oh my God, water, you know. So if a fella don't like to bathe now, you encourage him not to bathe. So I don't know what rationale they want to give for that one. Because water is like you must use water. So they didn't say why they put it on water, but I suppose, again, to victimize the poor people of the country because they're the ones going to suffer the most. There was a time like now where things were costly. About 3 years ago, after COVID, and the people was having difficulty paying their bills. You know what the government did? Our government did? We removed 25% on the non-fuel charge on your electricity bill. You remember that? Those of you who could read your electricity bill, you will see something called non-fuel charge. But what we did, we took 25% out of it and said, we take out that. So to ease the pain of the poor people in the country. Because I could pay the 25% and many of us could pay it, but a lot of poor people can't. The first thing they did was to remove the 25% reduction as soon as they came in. So tell me, who you hurting the most again? The poor and the vulnerable. You're not hurting Keith Mitchell. You're not hurting people like me. You're clearly hurting the man who can least afford to pay for this. But they didn't stop there, sisters and brothers. And I cautioned them in the parliament. I said, listen, this is going to cause a lot of problems by doing this. Oh, no, we all kinds of nonsense. We had removed the taxes, many of the taxes on electricity bills, the NNP removed. Besides the non-fuel charge, they bring all that back. Sisters and brothers, a lot of you, when people ball in and say, how my electricity bill so high? It's because the NNP had reduced the taxes on many of these bills besides the non-fuel charge, and the NDC brought back all of those taxes. So when I get my electricity bill, like many persons, I could pay it. But where did my poor man get in the money? Where the poor lady with 4 and 5 children, and many cases the men disappear and they have to fund this for themselves. Where are they going to get the money to take care, to keep the lights burning, that they needed that for all what is taking place in our world today in the electronic age? Electricity is a necessity. So again, the poor people are the ones going to be suffering the most. But we also look at something. Many of us at this level, we have our motor cars. So whatever the price of gallon of gas, we're going to buy it. But the poor man, he has to pay the busman. He have the bus. So we put a cap on gasoline and said, no matter how far it goes or where it goes, $15 is the maximum. So if it goes up past $15, the government is the one that would lose money. You know what they did? They said, no man, we're moving the $15, you go get the gas, even go get less. Well, maybe some of them can't read. Less mean more. Today gasoline price is what? Right now is what? 16 something. So that extra $1 and something that people paying, the busmen have to pay. And you know what's going to happen? Because now the busmen will come and they want increased fares. So when they come with increased fares, who are paying increased fares? Me? I don't drive no bus. I don't take no bus. The poor man, once again, are the ones that are going to suffer, friends. But let me tell you something else. I'm giving you this litany one by one so you understand what these guys are doing to your country. My friends, there's something called contracts. Over the years, we have rules. If you want to bid for a contract for a certain amount, you have certain conditions and things that you have to meet. You can't just go and give a man a contract just like that. There are rules because you want to protect the accountability of the government resources. So friends, we had what we said, the contracts that you don't have to bid used to be a very low number before. We raised it to about $15,000. So a poor man, you could give him a contract. The system must operate effectively. But he doesn't have to go through all the rules to do so. So that man can get a small contract to continue to do some, whether it's a road work, whether building a wall, whatever it is, different services of government. The guys came into office. You know what they did? They raised it to $100,000. So they could meet a man on the side of the road and give him $100,000 without no system, no idea of accountability, no process by which that person must go through certain steps. So you could give your friend, you could give your family, you could give anyone $100,000, friends. And I told the Prime Minister, you're preparing yourself for trouble. He tell me, don't worry, that man, I'm going to handle that. I say, oh, you're going to handle it. You know what that means? While you're sitting here and you're busting your tail and you're having difficulty, these guys are riding on the taxpayers' resources. You and I would not know who getting the $100,000 contracts. You won't know. And that is why, sisters and brothers, we have to know the government that we elect in the country is something that we must take seriously. Because it is clear, this guy's whole intent is not about you. It's about themselves. But we are going to ask some serious questions because I want to know all the contracts they have given from the time this law came into being. Who has got those contracts? And what are the conditions of those contracts? Because you can give them without any bidding process. Just give the cabinet or a minister can give these contracts easily without any form of accountability or understanding. So friends, I want us to know this. We have started these public meetings. We think it's important, and we want all of us to understand. This is our country. Remember, sisters and brothers, because these people behave as if this country belongs to them. This country belongs to each and every one of you. And therefore, you have to be mindful of your responsibility to monitor and know what is taking place in this country in your name. And the NNP is saying we gave them 2 years of honeymoon. That honeymoon is over. That honeymoon is over, sisters and brothers. And that is why we have started this series of meetings. At the right time, if they don't get their act together, we will have a mass meeting to call on them to account to the people of this country. Prepare yourselves, sisters and brothers, to stand up for your children and your grandchildren and this beautiful country of ours. My friends, they know what is happening outside there. They're pretending they don't care. But as long as we are together, we will make them understand this country belongs to us, not them. So as Brother Dwight told you earlier on, they recognize that some of their strongest supporters are getting fed up of them. So what they're planning to do, and they realize they're going to be losing support in the country. They want to be able to bring in people. And they have all kind of names, Chong Wing and Wing Tong and all kind of things like that. They want to bring them to vote. But friends, you must know the law. Brother Dwight just come back as the former Attorney General of Anguilla for several years. So he knows the law. He knows the law. And what he told us tonight, and it's part of your constitution, sisters and brothers, part of the rules of the parliament for elections, that you must be here for a year to register to vote and to vote, sisters and brothers. You must be here in the country, living physically. So it means all of those who just come in, wherever they come from, Timbuktu, and register to vote, they ought not to be able to be allowed to vote. My friends, this is serious business, and we cannot take that lightly. I remember when I was Prime Minister and I was in opposition before, when I traveled abroad, friends of mine asked me, Doc, why can't you organize a polling station in New York or London so we could vote up there? And when I was Prime Minister, making the point, I was asked the same question when I was Prime Minister or when I was in opposition. My answer was simply this: if I want to steal an election and I'm Prime Minister, I will say yes to you, because then we'll make sure we know who we bring in to register, who will be in New York in charge of the polling station or wherever, who coming home to vote, just like that. But I asked them, I said, is it fair for me to be in Grenada? The government that I lead is maybe not doing well, and the people are tired of that government and they want change because they're not happy with how we govern in the country. Is it right for me to bring people from outside to impose that governance on the people while they sit in not happy with the government of the day? I say, in conscience, I will not be able to do it. The same answer I gave to them when I was in opposition. Because you see, the NNP is a party that stands for certain principles, fundamental principles and rights. It's not about being in power. If you are in power and you're hurting people, your conscience must be hurting you if you care about people. I am not in government, but I am a happy man, a man at peace with myself. So being in government and knowing that I cheat to be in government, I will be unhappy. And that is what the difference between the New National Party and the present government, that they do not care. The people you see on the platform here tonight, sisters and brothers, as I close, are people who stand for what is right for your country. You out here tonight, and the loads of people who are in the audience outside there, standing for what is right for your country. So let us stand together. Let us work together, sisters and brothers. Let us unite together to save Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Good night, and I love every single one of you. Thank you, and take care.
Let's go.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Just before you leave, we'd like to pray, that's one, but just that two housekeeping matters. Don't forget, this Thursday, we go to St. David's, most likely the Westall Secondary School, as the series of meetings continue, and we'll keep you up to date. But most important, there are many of you as party members who have always been wondering and questioning, when would the party have convention? Because some people say, oh, NNP ain't go have. The first step to get into convention will be General Council, which will be held next Sunday. It was first proposed for the Hermitage Government School, but due to space, size, and lack of air condition, it has now moved to the Trade Center. So next Sunday, organize your buses, organize your people, Trade Center for General Council. So we want to thank every single one of you from whichever part. The people of St. Patrick's, you have had your say. We are moving, the train is rolling. Thank you very much. Let's just stand. Let's just stand for a closing prayer as we ask for God's guidance and mercy. Father God, we want to thank you for taking us here safely. We thank you for all our speakers. We thank you for all our people. We thank you, O God, for the peace that we have had throughout this meeting. Let this message resonate with our people and the people throughout Grenada, Carrick, and Petit Martinique. As we live at this moment, O God, we ask you to continue with your guidance and protection. Give us traveling mercies, and may we live to see this country be delivered from the hands of those who are destroying it. These mercies we ask in your name, O God. Amen. Thank you. Get home safe, everyone. Take good care.
Let's go. Call them. Wake them. Tell them. We voting NNP again. Call them. Wake them. Tell them. Go out there and call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell somebody. Knock on the door by somebody. And when you say, call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell them we voting NNP election day. Go out there and call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell somebody. Knock on the door by somebody. Yeah. Call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell them we voting NNP election day. This country moving, and there's no turning back. So let's keep it going, cause we on the right track. I'm calling everyone, if you love this land, come on, everybody, and play your part. Go out there and call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell somebody. Knock on the door by somebody. And when you say, call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell them we voting NNP election day. Go out there and call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell somebody. Knock on the door by somebody. Yeah. Call somebody. Wake somebody. Tell them we voting NNP election day.